Hello and welcome back to more AEW and TEW 2020. We are here with our second show of Dynamite. As we start off with Orange Cassidy defending the AEW International title against the debuting Andrew Everett, the 7'4" giant. Andrew Everett. Bryce Ramsberg apparently did not have a gimmick as a referee until now, but it is fixed right away. 64 rating to start off our show. Then get to Ricky Starks, who was on commentary. I had Ricky on commentary. Big Bill probably just also there. But they're they get up, they get off, they're getting ready to go, but they're stopped by Trent Chuck. Ricky, he's saying that next week you guys can have your tag title match, and Bill, he'll get his international title match on Saturday. Orange Cassidy, he's gone. He's already made his way over. He's got the crowd over his shoulders. Like, you know what? Sure. Let's thumbs up. So on Collision, we will have Orange Cassidy versus Big Bill for the international title. So already booking a little bit of advance for that show. Afterwards, we get Daniel Garcia, Angel Parker, and Matt Menard being interviewed by Renee Patten. The three of them say that in 2023, they were held down from reaching their full potential, but now that it's 2024, Daniel Garcia is going to reach the top of the mountain. Like, he has the talent to, getting back to the level where he was the Dragon Slayer, being the best young prospect in AEW. It was the era of Top Flight who approached and saying that while Garcia is very good, it's Darius and Dante, Top Flight, that are really the best young prospects that AEW has to have, or just has in general. I'll work out, flesh out the stories a little bit more as I go. I do not like the "I'm the best wrestler." No, I'm the best wrestler storylines, but again, I'm still in the stage of figuring out characters, figuring out what I want to do with people who I really want to push, who I will push even if I don't want to. So that's mainly referring to like Daniel Garcia. I hate Daniel Garcia. But TK likes him. I feel like a lot of the fan base likes Daniel Garcia, so whatever, we'll deal with it. After this, Julia and Utami Hayashida defeat Amber Nova and Marty Bell. Just some local people. They're out in Corpus Christi, by the way. Yeah, just wanted to get them get them a match, get them a win, and also progress this part of the story. Wow, okay, that's a pretty good rating. Mercedes Moné hops on the mic after the match and says that this was a show of what AEW really needs in its women's division. But behind her, Julia and Utami, they're not getting along with each other. They're getting into an argument, and Mercedes manages to calm them down, still insisting that this Stardom invasion is just what AEW is looking for. And as soon as Mercedes heals, it'll be her going for the belt and her showing AEW what real women's wrestling will look like. Why the CEO, Mercedes Moné, needs to be the one in charge of all the gold. Go figure, grabbing people from different factions in Stardom isn't gonna go well. Who'da thunk? Susan Suzuki not in this because she was initially just brought in on Alliance loan. I am sending her to an actual contract right now. No worries there. After this, we have Renee continuing to earn her paycheck, interviewing Toni Storm about the interaction she had on Collision. Chris Sattler, and she says, "Well, you see, Renee, it was certainly a dour situation I had found myself in. It's a rather disgusting place that I found myself in now. I mean, being stuck in Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas. Oh, it's garish. No disrespect for our legendary Jimmy, but this..." of course referring to Jim Ross. "But this part of the country is the most abhorrent part of any country I've ever been to. So far away from Broadway, so far away from bright lights and the showtime that I deserve. And that was especially clear when I met that alien girl. And I cannot say I would have approved the way that Miss May handled all of that situation. I very much do appreciate the fact that I have someone who is so acknowledging, so truly appreciative of my talent, of my beauty, of my brilliance, standing up for me." And then, clap the hands. "Luther, take me away." He does just that. Yeah, building up. Thinks that Chris is disgusting and abhorrent and ugh. Mariah May, a little bit confused by not really like appreciative for her personally, but just the fact that it is some lackey. Swerve defeats Scorpio Sky. Wanted to get Swerve a win. After this, the Bucks come onto the ramp with Kota Ibushi. I forgot to put Kota in the segment. Mics in their hands. They say that Swerve is someone who is good, and they're not going to lie about that. But to think that he's more important than lifeblood of AEW and the Young Bucks is just a ridiculous thought to have. Continue by insisting that because of them, that Swerve's even able to be popular rather than floundering around with a failed rap group. I gotta have some storyline in there that has all these cheap shots at WWE. I find it highly unprofessional, but we know that it's gonna happen. Don't just say that it's Big Sexy weaning them off of the shots at the Fed. Shoot, that's supposed to be Jay White. It's fine. Jay White's supposed to be is then seen in a phone video. Austin Gunn being the one audibly behind the camera. Says that Bullet Club Gold don't care about all these new people showing up because BCG is going to remain as the most important faction in wrestling history. They don't fear anything, especially with them bolstering their numbers, which he proves when he pans over to see Bullet Club Gold now has added Ace Austin and Chris Bay. The part of TNA, part of New Japan Strong. Yeah, part Strong. And they're beating down Adam Page. Jay tells everyone that Adam Page is just a warning. His Bullet Club Gold is here to stay. Jay will make sure to injure Joe, and then, make sure that when you have another title run, it's going to end just like all of your other ones have done, with me hurting you for good, putting you on the shelf like you belong. And it'll be Jay White going in and taking over AEW with the BCC. Extremely marketable. You know what? Those are fine. Chris Bay working on his gimmick rating will be fine. I'm good with that. Darby Allin defeats Brian Cage. I feel like they had poor chemistry in the first series. But yeah, Darby Allin just involved in this. After this, Darby Allin doesn't have much time to celebrate when Will Ospreay comes out from the crowd. He slides in, and this is real quick, bang bang. You can barely tell that Will Ospreay's here. Darby, he's on his knees celebrating right now. Kind of taking a couple deep breaths, alright, I just had this tough match against this big guy in Brian Cage. While he's still down, Will Ospreay, he jumps up, he sprints in, hidden blade. Darby's down, and Will, he's still in position, he's still kind of he usually ends up on his knees, I'm pretty sure, after a hidden blade. And he's just staring down Sting. When Don Callis' music hits, he walks out onto the ramp. He says, I'm always amazed by the assassin's speed out there. And Sting, you really should have looked for Will Ospreay when it came to looking at someone to adopt as your ward instead of that stupid little kid Darby Allin. But that's all the better for Will, because the Don Callis knows just how to lead people to victory. Because Don Callis knows what it's like to spread his fingers out all across the world of pro wrestling to make it the best of the best and make the already who was the best of the best even better. Don Callis, he knows how to mend all bridges. So as he says this, another figure wearing a hoodie comes on in, comes to the crowd, he puts Darby in some submission. I don't exactly know what Jonathan Gresham does. And Ospreay, he's kind of in the ring between Sting and Darby. He's kind of protecting the hoodie figure and Darby. The figure is revealed to be Jonathan Gresham. They kind of just have fun with Darby a little bit longer before eventually they let it up and they head out. I don't know why Jonathan Gresham just feels like a Don Callis guy. He's a good wrestler. He's fairly uninteresting. He's a solid hand to have in the mid-card. I could see him maybe being an international champion. He's a workhorse guy. That's it, really. Don Callis going to lead him. Kind of adds a little bit of a run because I will be moving. Eventually, I'll be moving to Takeshita. I'll be moving Powerhouse Hobbs. I'll be moving Kyle Fletcher all away from probably Will Ospreay as well. So Gresham kind of the old hand in there to make sure that the Don Callis family can do something. Because Don is pretty good on the mic. This is a very good rating. But Don is good in this game. I just think that I don't mind the idea of the Don Callis family. I just think that the people who are in it right now should be as far away from it as possible. After this, we cut to a vignette of a college gym, where we hear the sounds of training. Serena Deeb taps out a local talent, asking the crowd of students, anyone else who wants to earn the extra credit for this class. They're lasting more than 5 minutes with Serena Deeb, so call back to the 5-minute challenge that she had. No one takes the baits until Billy Stark, she's hanging out with actor Andretti. She kind of pushes him ahead, volunteers him for it, and Deeb's like, all right, sure, come on and bring it. And she kind of taunts Andretti, saying that he was supposed to be this big future star and can't even win this match against against Serena Deeb, against this returning woman, when you have the superintendent watching. I wonder who the superintendent could be if you look at the name of the storyline. Andretti is focused, and he gets to a wrestling match with Deeb, and it does go pretty well. He nearly gets the pinfall over Serena Deeb, but she kicks out, and somehow pretty quickly after that gets him in a submission, which he has to tap out from. And Deeb's like, you know what, there was a good showing. I'm sure the superintendent will want to see you after this, but we're not quite done here, because Miss Starks already saw you volunteering, bring it on. And Billy's like, god damn it. So she goes in, and they have their match, Serena Deeb. But we're not going to see it, just because I don't think these people can really last that long in a segment. But yeah, Serena Deeb involved with this as well. Anna Jay defeats Red Velvet. Wow. And we'll see there Anthony Ogogo, good work at ringside. After that, she was accompanied by Anthony Ogogo, and as she's coming out, she does her entrance by herself, but just like Ogogo is kind of hovering behind her, and she looks over and it's like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you here? She has her match. Ogogo's on the outside, and afterwards, Anna Jay finally is like, all right, why are you here? Why show up here? And Ogogo, he says, I'm not supposed to tell you who's hired me. I'm here to protect you. It's for your own safety, and not telling you my employer is for your own safety. Don't worry. We'll get this sorted out soon enough. And Anna's like, all right, sure. I guess I have a bodyguard now. And she has her hand raised in victory. I will thank Connell for this idea. It's gonna be a fun segment, a fun little gimmick, I think. Ogogo's someone that I feel like should be used more. I don't see him as a star player, because he is mid-30s and not really that good or popular or known at all. But I think he still does have a use. So, Anna Jay's bodyguard it is for now. We'll learn more about the story as it goes on. This one. Alright. Sammy Guevara's seen at a park, sitting by himself. This is a, just like an actual park. Probably a little bit chilly. He's wearing a jacket. It's fine. And he's approached by some new debutantes. He looks up, and it's Allie Katch and Davey Boy Smith Jr. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess you're in AEW now. What can I do for you, Davey and Allie? And Davey, he puts his hand up. No, please, it's David Boy Smith Jr. And this is Allison Katch. And I watched your moment of vulnerability last week, how you really poured your heart out there for everyone. And, it was a touching moment. I see what you were going out there. I know what you were going through. Of course, I've been watching for a long time, and I gotta say, I can agree with your sentiments there. That right now, the way that your employment is, I don't see how someone as young as Luna could be proud of you. How someone could really just be ashamed have someone on this show as it is right now. And I think that we can change that. And I know that you want to change the show for the better. Because it's not just you that's at fault. It's AEW. Their lack of enforcement towards the rules. They're putting things in jeopardy of being off the air. They're getting sponsors pulled. They might be fired. They might be blacklisted from channels everywhere. So I want to go out there. I want to help AEW, and I want you to help me. Of course, I know you're going through a lot right now, so think about it. Sit on it. Here's my business card. Call me whenever you have the chance. Just think about it. Just think about it, and again, afterwards, David Boy Smith Jr. heads off, and afterwards, like, Sam was like, "All right, thank you, Davey," and whips around. David Boy Smith Jr. walks away. I don't remember how the David Boy Smith Jr. bit started, but I love it. I'm going to enjoy this. Obviously, David Boy Smith Jr. is not going to be a major star. But I think he's a good catalyst for this. He's a good catalyst for kind of a managerial role, a mentor role, an old-fashioned old guy role, really. Allie Katch, she's in there to. I am someone that believes that every stable should have, well, just about every stable, should have at least have people of both genders in it. Because the way that I see it, if you have a faction, having people of both genders means just more opportunities for gold. So that just kind of makes sense in my eyes. But, of course, not really guaranteed. But, yeah. David Boy Smith Jr. is going to be fun. And yes, I will try to remember the pause every time. Yes, I will be saying David Boy Smith Jr. every time. He will not be abbreviated. This is the right to censor, alright? I'm just gonna flat out say it. This is right to censor. But my take on it. So, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. After this, the Acclaimed beat the Lucha Bros. And yeah. Pretty good match. This is a very good main event. For some reason, Death Triangle are faces. I'm gonna have to go into Access to change Everhantis and Pac. Pac, I don't know exactly which it is. I'm gonna have to go and change that because they are not faces. Pac should never be a face. Neither should MJF, to be fair. After the match, the Acclaimed scissor each other, but they're jumped by Pac. The Lucha Bros not taking much longer to join in on the beatdown. Pac yells at them that while the Trios belts are no longer a thing, Death Triangle, they're still the superior three-man unit, and they want to take out the final AEW Trios champions. And Pac is going to break old daddy ass into retirement for good. Show ends with Death Triangle standing over the Acclaimed. This is one I wasn't really sure how to finish the show. This is, right now, it's mostly just it'll get a good rating. Which it did, to be fair. And again, I'm still figuring out the story as I go along. Get a 74 rated show. Very nice, very much carried, I think, by the main event. Did actually have a couple of really good segments in there. Having Mercedes talk by herself for a little bit, really good. Don Callis is good on the mic. Having Sting there as well really helps. Yeah, pretty decent show. Again, we're still early on into things. We're still finding my feet with this very different AEW from what I had in the first series. So yeah, we'll move on to Collision in our next episode.